Things I didn't know when I was a Christian. Early Christianity was extremely diverse. The differences between first-century Christian sects make the differences between Catholic and Protestant look like petty minutiae by comparison. The Gnostics, for instance, were a collection of sects whose primary defining characteristic is that they consider the God of the Old Testament to be a completely separate entity from Jesus. Usually, it'll be something along the lines of Old Testament God being either imperfect or too rigid, with Christ being the higher God that finally decided to intervene to fix Old Testament God's mistakes. Then there were the Ebionites, Christians who believed that they were still obligated to keep most of the Jewish law, including circumcision and the dietary restrictions. To them, Jesus was an ordinary human being who did such a good job of keeping the Jewish laws that God adopted him as his son. God then did the whole sacrifice thing, and that took the place of animal sacrifices in their keeping of the law, but that's it. The rest of the law still had to be obeyed. There was even a sex cult version of Christianity called the Fibionites, which had exactly the communion ritual that you would think of when I mention sex cult and communion ritual. These are but a small sampling of the wide array of Christian beliefs that existed before the Proto-Orthodox version gained government power in the 4th century.